Happy Friday, everyone. Welcome. We're back and we're here for a Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode breakdown, reaction review, recap. We're going to do it all here today. Super excited to be here back with a new Marvel Disney Plus TV show. It was such a great episode, a really nice setup episode for what we're about to see for Falcon and Bucky's future in the MCU. I don't know how you guys are feeling about it, but I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. I'm really enjoying the different pace so far from it. It definitely had the great emotional vibes that I thought it would have. And yeah, we're going to talk about it all here today. We'll talk about the big implications of the Flag Smashers, perhaps the Power Broker being one of the main villains here in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Also, a few other characters that will be making appearances later on. I guess this episode was mostly meant to be kind of focused on Bucky's trauma and also kind of Sam's family and what's going on behind the scenes there. And then we, of course, had the big reveal. Sam ain't Captain America right now. That is John Walker, the U.S. agent. He didn't say anything, but he has a very punchable face. It felt like, I don't know, man, he should not be holding that shield in my opinion. But yeah, welcome everyone. I see Crocodile Jaws in chat, Admiral Mellon. I see Morley. And yes, this is a super exciting Friday, everyone. And yet another Friday where we're watching some Marvel on Disney Plus. What a dream come true, really, honestly. I was talking to my friends about this the other day, and I never really ever thought that we would, get Marvel TV shows that were this good, right? Like, I always thought that it would... And we would go to the movies, we would go to these big budget movies, we'd all go and we'd enjoy Marvel movies, and that would kind of, be the thing. I thought that maybe they could, adapt the Game of Thrones formula and do, continue on with the Punisher and Daredevil stuff. But this is like raising the bar. This is what we call S tier, But Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be S tier in my opinion. We also see Kate Bertinsky in the chat. She says, Bucky's story hurts my soul. Yeah, that's the great thing about Falcon and Winter Soldier and WandaVision. I think we always knew that after WandaVision, like we talked about it a bunch on the Marvel podcast, that it was going to be really hard to top that performance, right? Like we had Paul Bettany absolutely killing it. We had, of course, Elizabeth Olsen crushing it as Wanda. We had Agatha, who is a supremely interesting character. And we kind of knew that this was going to tie into, some of the multiverse things that they were doing, And that's kind of a different niche when we start to look at things within the Marvel universe. We haven't really got to explore more of kind of, the dark dimension and the quantum realms. And when they've really teased that stuff, we got to explore it a little bit, right? But this Marvel Phase 4, we're going to really dive deep into that. And I think that, it's only been a couple weeks since WandaVision has dropped, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, I don't say that I would really have a preference on what kind of Marvel content we're getting. I'm super excited for Loki. I'm excited for Hawkeye. I think they'll all have their kind of differences and vibes. But yeah, I really enjoyed the vibe so far from the first episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I was kind of talking about this on the channel before it dropped in that I thought that this was going to be underrated because of how good WandaVision was, right? And I think that a lot of people are like, it's just going to be all this action and all of this stuff, and people are kind of going to shit on it a little bit, which is fair. You know what I mean? I think people want nuanced storytelling. They want storytelling that isn't just purely action-based. And I think that a lot of people care about the bigger characters like Thor and, obviously Captain America, which we're going to talk about here, the legacy of Captain America, Iron Man. But now it's time for Marvel to be able to expand on these shows, right? Like expand on the backstory of Bucky like we got in this episode, which is really fantastic, right? Like being able to see his emotional trauma. Like we've seen them explore some of that, but not to the extent that we got in this episode, right? Like if we're getting a Captain America movie or we're getting, a Marvel Avengers movie, Bucky isn't getting more than like 10, 15 minutes of screen time, you know what I mean? And for him to be kind of, one of these main protagonists kind of him going back and forth between him and Falcon is really interesting. But it was nice to see. I really, really enjoyed that. And hell yeah, Morley. Thank you for that donation. I really, really appreciate it. Biggest supporter of the channel. We really appreciate you. That's going to help the channel out for sure. Going to put it towards, investing back into the channel. We're starting to upgrade some things here. Did you guys like the new intro with Thor's hammer, Mjolnir? You guys seeing the new background and stuff? So this is what we're going to roll with. I thought it was more in line with the kind of Marvel theme that we're rocking with right now on the channel. So what was everybody's impression of the episode? We'll get into all of the kind of elements of episode 1, New World Order. We definitely got to see some interesting things. Of course, we got to see more the people that are important to Sam. His family, his sister's business. We got to see Sergeant Torres, who is obviously, has a big connection to the comics as well, and some of the stuff that's going to be happening in the show. We got to learn a little bit about the Flag Smashers, which is going to be interesting. The Power Broker, I think. If you guys look at the end credit, there's Power Broker there, and obviously the mention of the Flag Smashers, the Power Broker being able to create these kind of super soldiers. And it looked like, well, at least one of these members of the Flag Smashers is, it's got to be a super soldier, right? Are they creating super soldiers? Then we saw Batroc the Leaper, George St. Pierre's character, come back, and they were wearing kind of Hydra-esque colors. So I don't know really, if they're aligned with Hydra, but I assume that we probably will see Hydra pop up at some point during the show. Yeah, I really loved how they opened the episode, right? Like that was I think that we knew that we were going to be getting amazing action sequences in this, right? Like WandaVision, really, that is something that it lacked. We kind of knew it was going to be more focused on the mystery and the kind of Easter egg hunting that we have to do within, that specific kind of Marvel topic. Like Doctor Strange, we're searching for more, kind of background things and kind of investigating some of these story elements. But this one is definitely more straightforward, I think. I think that, this was a great setup episode. It's episode 1. I don't think that we should expect them to kind of give us everything that we want in the first episode. And I think that that's, with WandaVision too, people were shitting on the first few episodes, right? Like, oh my God, like what's really going on here? This is so boring. And then we found out by episode 4, okay, like this was the kind of formula that they were going for, Crocodile says Bucky's action scene was underrated because everyone was talking about Sam's. Oh yeah. The flashback to Bucky, of course, doing his Winter Soldier work, and then him creating the relationship of the father of the son he killed, Yori. That was really interesting, right? Like that was like him seeking out that person to learn more about that person to try to kind of somehow cope with the guilt of killing an innocent, right? Because he wasn't in complete control when he was the Winter Soldier, right? And he's having all of these deep emotions of regret and just guilt that, obviously he's having nightmares. He's not able to sleep in a normal bed, right? And I think we knew that Bucky had some PTSD from his past. I mean, he says he's 106 years old, right? He's bound to have some things that he's going to regret that he's done in his life. And, can we really, really blame the guy? I mean, yeah, he's done some terrible things, but he was also tortured and experimented on by Hydra, man. So I don't know. Kate Pertensi says, I watched The Winter Soldier last night and it's obviously great, but almost 2.5 hours feels like a lot all at once. So doing it in chunks feels more manageable. Yeah. I went and watched Winter Soldier a couple times this week, actually. And Civil War too. The ones more. I was trying to get more of just going back to check out like how much Marvel has explored of Bucky and both Falcon's backstories, and that's what I think I really loved about this episode. Like, don't get me wrong, the opening action sequence was sick. That was It's absolutely amazing. Absolutely love that. And I think that we knew that there were, $25 million budget per episode. Big deal, right? That's top of the top. That's like as good as you can get. And we know that their production value is through, like, Marvel is the GOAT, right? Like, if we're talking about as far as like CGI and special effects and big bombastic fights and just action, I think that we're going to look, okay, we could probably name on one hand what the best kind of franchises are for that. And I think Marvel is number one. Star Wars, Marvel, you can really kind of argue that, but yeah, Disney owns all of it, I guess. If you guys had to rate the episode out of 10, what would you guys give it? I don't know what I would give. It's definitely, I think I would give it an 8. I really love how they explored the backstory of Sam and Bucky. And I think that they're obviously going to, we're going to get 5 more episodes around 50 minutes long, which I think is great. The episode length, this was like 47 minutes or so. So yeah, I think they did a really good job. And like, for me, what I really enjoyed about WandaVision is being able, of course, as a content creator, being able to talk about it with you guys and kind of talking about a different topic every day, pretty much, talking about this character or talking about this group or talking about this comic mythology. And now I think it's just like really interesting because I don't want to call these characters surface level characters, but we've only got to see so much of them beyond that surface, right? Because they've been featured in Marvel movies. And and this is why I was so excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier. Like, I know Loki is gonna be absolutely amazing. And by the way, I think that we're getting multiple seasons of Loki. That's what it looks like anyways. But yeah, this is kind of the thing that I was looking for, because I think that, I knew that WandaVision was going to be mysterious and there was going to be fun. There was going to be a lot of theory crafting. And this one is more straightforward to analyze, but, I'm an emotional guy. I love being able to empathize with characters and connect with them. And we haven't really had that on the level of some of the other characters. Like, Bucky's been around since basically almost the beginning of, this kind of Marvel renaissance that we had, right? With like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, the original Avengers, right? And now we're kind of moving beyond that, and it's really interesting to see. And Falcon's been around for a while too. I was absolutely heartbroken for him at the end of the episode, right? Like, he's doing this thing by giving up the shield because he doesn't know if he truly feels like he's earned it because Steve has given it to him, right? Like, and that's a big legacy. Like, that Captain America shield obviously belongs to Steve Rogers, right? His legacy, everything that he's accomplished. But for that to happen after he gave up the shield is a giant spit in the face of Captain America, man. And I know we don't know this character yet, this John Walker, the U.S. agent, but if they're going to go with the comic storyline and they're really going to explore him, he's not the right choice for Captain America, right? Admiral Mellon, is there going to be a Hawkeye series? I forgot. Yeah, it's going to be going on later this year. It's rumored to be in the fall. I think they're still doing some filming in Atlanta, I believe. But yeah, they've been releasing new posters for Loki and some set updates for Hawkeye. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that's going to be in the fall. And that's great too, right? Because Hawkeye is another character. Like, he's been around. We've got to, we've kind of got to empathize with him a little bit more because we've met his family, and we obviously know that his the snap and the blip and all of that happened with him, and he went on to, go commit. I wouldn't say heinous acts, but as Ronin, he was, kind of rolling as a Ronin in Asia and just, killing peeps and taking out his anger and kind of just acting out in a way where he probably wouldn't have acted out if his family didn't get snapped, right? And I think that that's going to be another really interesting thing to explore, because Hawkeye is such an interesting character, but to give him, say 6-8 episodes, same length of episodes that we're getting with Falcon and Winter Soldier, but, really shining that spotlight on, what makes him tick and why he's helping train this new Hawkeye and all of that. I think that that's super interesting, right? Because I'm not saying that Hawkeye hasn't got enough screen time, but it certainly would be nice to get him more screen time, right? And if, you're getting let's say 7 hours, 6 hours. That's like a movie trilogy, right? Like we never got a Hawkeye trilogy. We've never got a Bucky trilogy. And they can only do so many Marvel movies, right? They have their phases. They have 4 a year. Usually we get, 4 big movies a year. But now that we got these TV shows, it's just amazing. So there was it was really heavy, right? Like the emotion, the emotional beats of the story that they hit was really great. What did you guys think about that? Did it hit the emotional beats that you felt like you were looking forward to? Did it really kind of pique your interest into wanting to learn more about Sam, wanting to learn more about Bucky? What are your thoughts on that, guys? Crocodile says, everything with Bucky was great. Everything with Sam was okay. I don't know about his financial issues, but I liked the rest with Sam, and the action was amazing. Yeah. When they went to the bank, and the banker was more interested in self-aggrandizing himself on social media than, helping someone out that literally helped save the world, and has been an icon and friend of Captain America, to be denied that after their family has been, with this bank for many, many, many years. And this is kind of a social issue that, and I think this is why this is great storytelling, is this is, look at what's happening with the pandemic. People are having business issues, right? And the pandemic hasn't happened 5 years, but people are having financial issues. People are struggling. People have lost their jobs, right? And I think that is something that is, like, with most people, we are millionaires, right? So we can kind of empathize with that plight, being like, oh man, it's a struggle out here. I'm just trying to survive this kind of day-to-day thing, Hey, what's going on, Robbie? Kate says, Bucky definitely hit hard. That was well done. And I like that they touched on the more practical aspects of being a superhero, a Sam storyline. Yeah, right? Him having to repair Red Wing, his drone, part of his getup, all of that. Bucky having to lie on his date about why he wears gloves. He has poor circulation. We see, like, there's also these negative connotations, right, that can be associated with being a superhero, like the fear. Bucky is fearful of being judged, right, because look at what happened with him. He literally committed terrorism. How can you have income when you don't exist? Yeah. So I think that, I felt like it was, oh man, I was like, oh man, Bucky found someone that he could truly just be himself with, express himself with, right? And this old man Yori, I mean, we got to remember that Bucky announces that he's 106 years old, right? You can tell, you can sense how drained, but like Bucky is so tired, right? He's been alive for so long, and he's trying to find this sense of purpose. And even when he's with the therapist, he's like, she's like, you're free. He's like, free to do what? What am I free to do? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what to do. What's my sense of purpose in the world? And I think that that's something that's, we can kind of align with also WandaVision. Like, Wanda was like, what am I going to do after I've moved on? Like, a Vision isn't in my life anymore. We were supposed to build this life together. And that's the main reason why she did what she did, why she created the Hex, right? This grief that she had from the sense of loss that she had. Crocodile Jaws, Yori's definitely Mephisto. S-tier theory, Yori is Mephisto. Yeah. I don't think we'll have to fuck around with the Mephisto theories too much. Crocodile Jaws says, I thought the Flag Smashers were introduced nicely, but a question I have is, where is Zemo? That's correct. They are really teased up. We heard Torres talk about kind of, that they were the operational standard that they have is becoming dangerous, right? Like, they're really starting to move their plan into action. Like, he's heard about them on the internet, and, he's kind of, tracked them and followed them on social media, but there was never like this big plan of action. And then boom, He's right in the middle of it, and he almost got killed, right? That's a pretty big deal. And it's clear that this, at least one part of the Flag Smashers, I don't know if you guys caught I don't know if that was a nod to Songbird, the character Songbird, the villain. But yeah, that could be part of their signal and part of how they communicate. That would be really cool. But I think that they're definitely going to be going with that too, right? It's going to be something that's going to be interesting that they're going to explore. Aaron Kellyman could be playing a gendered swap Flag Smasher with the character, but they're going with the Flag Smashers group, right? This is like a terrorist organization. And I think that we could see multiple groups kind of possibly get together. You know, Zemo's kind of got his own organization. You know, he has his own goals. The Flag Smashers are more kind of like anti-government, anti-Captain America, which Zemo also is. But, you know, I think that probably episode 2, we're going to see probably the introduction of Zemo. We know that Sam his texts have been ignored by Bucky, and they're going to have to, you know, there's going to be some communication there in some sort of way. So, something is going to probably happen in episode 2, like some sort of terrorist attack or some sort of event which calls them to, you know, get back together, right? And it's going to be really interesting because I think we're going to see some flashbacks too. Like that was one thing that I thought that was interesting about episode 1. Because if we look about at the trailers, they're really, I mean, we saw Sam training with the shield and all of this stuff. And then obviously he has to give up the shield, right? Well, he gives up the shield out of goodwill. Like he wants people to, you know, still be able to recognize Captain America as a symbol. But then they go out and do something completely out of, you know, like, he didn't think that wasn't a calculation that he made. He didn't think that they were going to kind of like undercut him like that, even though Steve, you know, picked Sam as his successor. Admiral Mellon says, if you saw the close-up with the woman with the ginger hair and the Flag Smashers, I've seen lots of people think she is Songbird. Yeah, I think Erin Kellyman, if you go check her out, I think she's going to be playing Songbird. And then we can have kind of like Zemo perhaps, you know, creating his own like Dark Avengers group. You know, I mean, like the Thunderbolts or the Masters of Evil. We saw Batroc the Leaper. He survived, even though, you know, Falcon kind of kicked his ass and ended up rescuing who he needed to rescue. But it's clear that there, you know, we could kind of maybe see like a villain of the week type deal. You know, that would be kind of cool. You know, Batroc the Leaper was kind of a main one in this episode. If they go to Madripoor, maybe we can see some mutants. I think that that's probably going to be a big deal since we're seeing enhanced individuals. We're clearly seeing an enhanced individual with this character, you know, who may be Songbird, this leader of the Flag Smashers. And but it's gonna be really interesting to see how they navigate that, right? Because like the first episode was clearly a setup episode. And then the second episode, I mean, I think like it's really probably going to be so intense. Since we're not getting as many episodes as WandaVision, but these episodes are longer, we're going to be able to kind of have a theme of the episode. You know what I mean? This one was more flashback, backstory, story building in a sense. Yeah, you guys are hilarious in chat. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, and I'm going to have to go back and watch it again and kind of, you know, I'm probably going to go watch it a couple times tonight. But overall, I really kind of enjoyed the plot of the episode. I think that, you know, like I said, there will be a theme each episode. This one was kind of more exploring the backstory of these characters. And just kind of the sense of where do we go? Like, where does life go after the blip? You know what I mean? We clearly see, I mean, Sam's family is affected by that. Their family business is failing. He's got a sense of regret because he can't help out, even though he's this superhero. He's got good credit. He's making decent money. Hey, what's up, John? Smith, oh man, there were so many great moments in this episode. I really loved, getting some relationships for Sam outside of just Cap, right? I got to see him, how tight he is with his sister and his nephews. That was really cool. and how much obviously family is an important thing to all of us, but we see how incredibly important it is to Sam for them to be able to sustain themselves and for him to kind of be the man of the family. You know what I mean? Disney should hire me. Are you talking to someone in chat or me, Kate? Yeah, it's going to be really fun to explore because I feel like Mephisto is more like when we're looking at content for creating content for WandaVision, you know, all the Mephisto theories and the speculation and kind of looking into where they would take Wanda's story after WandaVision. We knew that she was obviously going to be in Multiverse of Madness, so tying in a lot of these story elements into Doctor Strange 2 is something that we talked about. And I think it was really cool because it was kind of trying to dissect and talk about how they're breaking the fourth wall. What's really happening is the dialogue literal. Should we take it literally? How are they trying to explain what's going on to the audience, right? And this one is more, I think, more of how can you connect with it emotionally? Do you feel that you can connect with these characters? And I think that that's going to kind of be the main baseline for Falcon and Winter Soldier, right? Because they want us to be able to connect with these characters that haven't necessarily had the emotional exploration that like a Tony Stark has. Like, we're more strongly tied to Tony Stark because, yeah, Robert Downey Jr. is giving amazing performances, but he's also been in like 10 movies as kind of like the main guy, you know? And I think you're right, Admiral Mellon. Like, we're seeing kind of a similar thing that we're seeing with WandaVision, exploring the traumas and kind of how Phase 3 of the Marvel Universe, the Infinity Gauntlet saga, all the death and tragedy from that carries over to here, but also how they get from that point A to point B to moving forward, right? Like moving forward from that Phase 3 into Phase 4 and how they progress and grow as characters and people in the story. Admiral Mellon, I'm going to be so sad when Bucky has to tell Yori he killed his son because you know it's going to happen. Like, you could tell it almost happened, right? And I think Yori is kind of like, he's sensing, I think Yori's a pretty smart guy, right? He's an older guy. He's something is kind of a little bit off with Bucky. But like in a way, it's going to break Bucky's heart because he's made such a strong connection with someone, like a genuine connection with someone, but also at the same time, he connected with this person because he wanted to understand that person's pain because he caused that pain, right? As he was the Winter Soldier, he assassinated and killed his son. He murdered his son. And it's going to be really interesting to see how that goes down because Yori feels the pain of not being able to have any closure. And I think there will be closure for both of them, but it'll be really interesting to see how Yori goes about it. You know what I mean? If they sit down and have a talk and if Bucky is completely honest with him about it, like how much does he tell Yori if he does tell Yori, right? Like, hey, like I was the Winter Soldier, you know, I am taking responsibility for killing your son, but at the same time, I wasn't who I was then. And I think that's kind of, I wasn't who I was then is such a great story element to explore, right? Like, we got to see the progression of these characters. They can't stay, it wouldn't be interesting if they were going to be the same characters all the time, right? Like, we're going to see Bucky move on in some sort of way and grow as a character. We're also going to see Sam have to, you know, toggle and deal with this idea of what's going on with him just being disrespected like that after Steve said, hey, yeah, like carry on my legacy. It's going to be cool because we're going to see the coming together of both Sam and Bucky, you know, but also at the same time kind of the show explore their own perspectives, kind of going through flashbacks, their own kind of personal touching moments with people that they're connecting with, whether it's their family or people that are important to them. And, oh man, Admiral Mellon, imagine Bucky tells him and Yori's like, I know. I don't think we're there yet. I mean, it's clear that Yori doesn't know. Otherwise, he wouldn't have had the reaction that he did. He wouldn't have been as confused, I don't think. People are saying Bucky. Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking, Bucky, you look damn good for 106, my man. Sebastian Stan is one handsome gentleman, by the way. But yeah, I think those were the story elements that I really loved about the episode. Like, my assessment of it is like, I see where they're kind of going with this, right? Like, you're going to see the expansion of their backstories, of course, and them kind of exploring, you know, how they feel about everything that's happened in their lives. The speech, Sam gave a great speech too, right? Like, that was a really moving speech that he gave. And it took a lot of courage and also some sacrifice, right? Because I think he does want to be Captain America, but he's not ready for it, you know? and I mean, obviously the relationship of Cap is so important to Sam. It's so important to him, right? But at some point, he's going to have to, you know, not just be Cap's sidekick, you know, move on from that. And I think that's something that, I mean, I think that's obviously going to happen. That's why they're making a Falcon and Winter Soldier show. Do you guys feel like they hit the right amount of emotional beats? It had a really nice balance, didn't it? It had some good comedy too. Had that kind of dry, sarcastic comedy mixed in there, right? And the action was so good. We're gonna be getting a lot more of that, right? What would you say is your favorite moment of the episode, guys? And cheers, by the way. I'm just having some coffee. The nerve of that guy to watch Sam give that speech, give over the shield, and then immediately give it back to some fake Cap. Oh, man. Didn't that break your heart? It broke my heart, man. No, you have? Yeah, I never saw him as a sidekick. Yeah, me neither. Therapy scene? Yeah, I think that was a really, really interesting scene, right? That conversation with the therapist. And Bucky, his list, his notebook, that was really cool. The names being crossed off the list. And him trying to make amends for what he's done and trying not to murder everyone while also still being some sort of agent, right? Like, we see him sniff out someone that he helped get into government through Hydra and help corrupt the government. And I think that we're going to see more of that too. I would like to see them open up some more of that storyline too. I think that we will get that, obviously, like Bucky still working for whatever agencies around, whether it's S.H.I.E.L.D. or SWORD, whatever. And kind of still, you know, trying to make up for some of the damage that he's done. Yeah, Crocodile Jaws. I have a feeling that episode 2 is going to start picking up speed, and then episodes 3 through 6 are going to be very fast paced. Yeah, but like the last 2 episodes will be insane, I think. Kate says, I thought the balance and the pacing to it was awesome overall. Yeah, I thought it was really good too. I think that we now know. What do you guys think about this? Do you guys prefer, and we haven't had enough examples to really compare with Marvel movies, because we've only got 2 Disney Plus Marvel shows now. Would you guys prefer the TV format for Marvel storytelling, or do you prefer the movies? I'm really interested to hear. I'm really loving this new way of storytelling for Marvel, like this kind of medium. It's so interesting because we've never. Now we're here, right? Like Marvel is the big dog. Admiral Mellon says, I think at the end of the season, Sam is going to realize that he shouldn't just be the next Cap, but be himself and be his own hero, because he doesn't have to take that pressure of taking the mantle. Yeah, like of becoming his own person. And we heard Cap say to him, like, you know, like, and when Sam says it feels like it's someone else's, and then Cap says it's not. And he'll come to that realization. And I think that will be kind of the epiphany that he feels at the end of the series, right? You know, he will understand that he can be Captain America and that he's worthy. Kate Bertinsky says, I'm really liking this TV thing. The movies? Okay. You like the TV thing too, Morley? Hell yeah. By the way, let's give another round of applause for Maura for always being so generous with the channel. Of course, she's hit that join button. If any of you would like to support the channel, hit that join button. We got all sorts of awesome extra bonuses. I do bonus polls where you get to decide what kind of videos I do on the channel. And yeah, we have all sorts of awesome new emojis. We got Cap's shield. We got Cap's freaking shield, man. Boom. We got a new Loki one too, the Loki Funko Pop. We got the Hex. I got the Celestial Madonna's crown. Hey, what's going on, Mecca? Nice to see you, my man. We got the Avengers logo as well. So yeah, let's get into some questions and comments, and let's kind of open it up into a discussion. We'll go for a few more minutes here, but I thought it would be fun to just do like my initial thoughts and reaction today, and then we'll get into a nice episode breakdown tomorrow. I'll do We'll mix the episode breakdown with Easter eggs, I think, which will be a nice, fun, big video for you tomorrow. And then Sunday, we'll have the Marvel podcast at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Hacks Dogma. I'll probably, do an episode on the Flag Smashers. I'll probably do a video on the Flag Smashers. I'll probably drop that Sunday or Monday. We'll talk about that. And then we can kind of, we can do a prediction video. Maybe Tuesday, Wednesday. We can do another stream on Tuesday or Wednesday. Do some predictions and all of that, and talk about Bear on Zemo a little bit, and the Power Broker. Seems like he's going to be making a big impact in Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, cheers everyone. Happy friggin' Friday, man. It's been so beautiful here. Spring is finally popping. It's lighter. Since I live up here in Canada, I know most of you know this, but the winters here are so harsh because it's just so dark and cold, right? Like it gets dark at 4 p.m. It's like so hard on my brain. And just, I love the fact that I can open up my office and I get all this bright light and sunlight in here. It just gives me more energy. And I feel more energetic. I feel like excited. Oh, we should probably also do a Loki video because, they released the brand new poster. Owen Wilson and also Tom Hiddleston did that announcement and whatnot. So that'll be cool to talk about that. Am I going to go see Godzilla and Kong? I'm not so sure, man. We'll see. I'll probably watch it. I gotta also watch Justice League. I'll probably watch that tonight. Admiral Mellon says, Batroc is like Team Rocket, can never win, but always gets away somehow. Love that sentiment, man. Batroc is Mephisto, lol. Yeah, I'm super excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier, guys. Those are the things that really stood out to me in the episode. I think that it'll be really interesting to see kind of where they go with episode 2. The one thing that's super interesting, too, is Kerry Scoglin, who is the director of the show, wants a second season. And Kevin Feige didn't commit to that, but did say that if they felt like they needed more seasons of one particular show, that they would explore that. And that is, it looks like Loki is going to get more than one season. That's the rumor, at least. But I think that there's like, is Zemo going to get killed by the end of the season? Will there be another big bad? Will there be more stories to explore for both Falcon and Bucky? I say yes, because there's literally so much comic content, mythology, and story that you can tell, right? But it really depends on like where, like what amount of story they want. Like they can only film a certain amount of shows at a certain time. And yes, they have infinite amounts of money pretty much, but it'll be really interesting to see where they take it. Team Kong, man? Nah, I'm with Team Gogeta. Gogeta. Maura Lee says, the movies are great, but I love the TV shows. Get to have time to get to know these characters and what makes them tick. Yeah. Ooh. Admiral Mellon says, your prediction of the best Marvel series coming out. That's going to be hard. I think Secret Invasion is going to be amazing. I mean, WandaVision is going to be hard to top that because I think Elizabeth Olsen is going to win awards for her performance and everybody was just spot on with that. And she became a supremely interesting character, you know, and they made Age of Ultron way more watchable, right? Because of the whole Mind Stone retcon stuff and the Scarlet Witch and her origin story taking more from the comic origins. Yeah, I'm excited for Secret Invasion, because that whole storyline is massive, right? It has implications with Captain Marvel, and Captain Marvel 2 is coming out next year. And like, it's definitely not as popular as the Infinity Gauntlet saga, but like, I mean, we get a Super Skrull, and this Super Skrull can basically use the abilities of other superheroes. It'll be interesting to see if that ties in with Fantastic Four as well, because that's kind of what I'm thinking is going to happen. But yeah, I'm really like, I love all the comic Skrull stuff, and it's so interesting too because the MCU has changed for the Skrulls. They've made them more benevolent, right? They've made them less antagonistic. They made the Kree as kind of more, put them more in the antagonist role. But that doesn't mean that we can't have a faction of the Skrulls that are more nefarious, right? Torres might be the young Nick Fury. Hell yeah, that would be cool. I really like his character. I'm really going to be interested to see kind of where they go with his character too. That's right, Crocodile. Gojira over Kong. I don't know. They'll probably let Kong win that. Kong will probably win though. Actually, they probably team up to take on like Mecha Godzilla or something. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited for. I think Loki is going to be really, really good. Tom Hiddleston. He's kind of like Bucky in a sense, right? Like he's I don't want to say B tier level character, but he's never been the main protagonist. But now that he's getting his own show, he's gonna really shine. Loki is the god of mischief, man, and he looks like that in his poster. If you guys go check it out, it looks really awesome. But yeah, I don't know. I think. Like they'll all have their own sort of feels. Like one that I'm not that excited about is Miss Marvel. You know, that was never one that one story that I really got into the Marvel comics. Like wasn't a character that I was like really invested in. Certainly I'm interested to see where they take it, but is it going to be more like, it could be more like, I don't know. It might not be as mature of a story. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I'm really underestimating where they're going to go with it. It's probably because I'm just not that interested in that character, right? And that's going to be coming out later this year. We're definitely going to be covering it on the channel, nonetheless. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that show. I don't know enough about it, you know? But certainly I could be intrigued and interested. And if it has a great story and they pull it off, then I think it'll be good. But this show, like oh man. Yeah, this episode was great. I want to go watch it again right now. Hey guys, sorry, leaving the stream. I'm going to watch it again right now. But yeah. Yeah, and Loki with the whole time variance authority and Mobius and possibly getting the introduction of Kang the Conqueror. I think he's going to be a big Marvel Phase 4 villain. That would be really cool if they kind of explored that. And with the possibility of multiple seasons of Loki too. And him screwing stuff up with the timeline. Oh, man. Loki will probably be the best one, yeah. It's going to be really fun, right? The way they described the series was like this time heist, right? And that's going to be a little bit different more than kind of, you know, the mysterious storytelling of WandaVision and the more action-based backstory exploration of Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, I think they're all going to have their own kind of vibe to it, right? And that's what's so great about Marvel. There's a little something for everyone, right? So it'll be cool to kind of see where they go with everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode of Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're going to be doing a lot of videos on it. Like I said, we're going to be covering every episode, be breaking down each episode. Of course, I wanted to get on with you here today and kind of give my, I just watched the episode. I kind of just wanted to react to it, give my emotional take on it. And tomorrow we'll do I'll drop my episode breakdown for you. We'll talk about all the Easter eggs. We'll talk about the Power Broker. We'll talk about the Flag Smashers. We'll do a whole separate video for the Flag Smashers as well next week. And then Sunday, we'll have the Marvel podcast. We'll talk about that. Hacks Dogma will be joining me 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll set up the link tomorrow afternoon for you guys. And yeah, we're just going to explore as much as we can of Sam and Bucky and what they're going to be telling with this storyline here. So just really excited to be here with you guys. I'm so excited that we're getting Marvel Disney Plus shows. I never in my wildest dreams thought that we would be getting amazing content like this from Marvel on television. It makes me so happy. Marvel is my all-time favorite franchise. Don't get me wrong. I love Game of Thrones. I love Star Wars. I love The Witcher. I love Lord of the Rings. But Marvel is my jam, dude. I read so many comics growing up, and just to see them explore and do justice to these stories, man. Oh, man, they've been killing it, so. Hey, Mod Mary. I really appreciate all of you joining today. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. If you do want to see more Falcon and Winter Soldier videos, we're going to be talking about Loki, Falcon, and Winter Soldier. We're going to be talking about WandaVision. We're going to be talking about Black Widow. We can't forget about that. We're going to be talking about that. Oh, man, we should probably talk about Justice League, but I'm going to be so focused on the Marvel stuff. We'll see how I feel about it. If I really like Justice League Snyder Cut, I might talk about it. But there will be lots of videos. And yeah, guys, let me know what theories you want me to talk about. You want me to talk about a specific character? You guys want me to talk about an organization like the Flag Smashers? You guys let me know in the comment section what videos you want to see on the channel. I'll try my absolute best to, to cover as many topics as I can. We're going to be doing videos every day for Falcon and Winter Soldier. So yeah, just make sure you're on the lookout. I usually release my videos between, noon and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And yeah, there's lots of videos coming on the way, my friends. Really excited to be here. And like I said, if you want to support the channel, hit that join button. We're trying to get to 20 joiners by the end of the month. We have 10 members right now. We have cool emojis for the channel, guys. We have a Loki, Baby Yoda, Avengers. We have the Celestial Madonna, a Scarlet Witch symbol, The Witcher, a Cap Shield, and the Hype Train. Like I said, guys, thank you very much. I'm going to send you guys to the outro music. I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Have a marvelous day, everyone.